Hey everybody, I put a question out on Facebook a couple days ago and I was asking for some video ideas and I got a bunch of responses. And one of the ideas that had the most likes on it was a video about my eyebrows. And I've gotten questions before and I totally get it. Eyebrows can be the most frustrating part of a makeup beauty routine because if you overpluck or do something to mess up your eyebrows, it can take so long to grow them back, fix them, or even just figure out what is best for your face and what you want. So this video is completely just about my eyebrows. I am not a brow expert, and this is just what I do for my eyebrows based on the look that I like. So everybody's different, everybody does something different, and a lot of the ideas that I use came from other people because I'm not, like I said, a brow expert. But one of the things I really like natural looking eyebrows. I really don't like eyebrows that are overplucked or too thin. I think it is a very harsh look. And I think fuller eyebrows are just more youthful and natural looking, and I just really like them. And one thing that Goss makeup artist showed, this was a while ago in one of his videos, and I never thought about it before, but now that every time I see somebody with overplucked eyebrows, I think about it. The wider your eyebrows are apart from each other right here, the wider your nose will look. And it's so true. The bridge of your nose will look wide because I know it's like obvious, but it looks like all one piece here. So if your brows start all the way out here, your nose is gonna look mega wide. So I like brows that aren't, too far apart. And for me, for years, I overplucked my left eyebrow. It was kind of, and I knew they were uneven. It was just in a little further. And it's just really hard to grow it out because every time, especially when you're starting, because you see those first couple hairs come out and you wanna pluck them because they look so out of place, but you have to leave them go. So I grew my eyebrows out a little bit and I really like the shape that they are now. I think it's my natural arch and I work with it. And that's the thing. You have to work with your natural arch. I look at certain celebrities and I love their brows, but if they're, more arch than mine, less, fuller than mine can be, it's just not gonna work. You have to take your brows and your natural arch and work with it, and that's what's gonna look best on you no matter what other kind of brows you like. I think about a couple celebrity examples. Is it Kyle Richards has practically no arch to her eyebrows. I think that's who I'm thinking of. She's on the Real Housewives. No arch to her eyebrows, but they're full and they're just beautiful, and that looks great on her. If I had no arch, my face would look jacked up. An example of, this is probably gonna get mean, but an example of having brows too far apart, Amber on Teen Mom, the one who is charged with domestic abuse and things like that, her eyebrows are like little caterpillars. They're so short, they're probably only an inch, and they're so far apart, and every time I look at her, I just wanna just pencil in her eyebrows because they're so little and dinky and far apart. And then the other thing that I always do every single day I'm going out, even if I have practically no other makeup on, is I fill in my eyebrows. And I'll show you what I use to fill them in. I don't have them filled in right now and I need to touch them up a little bit. So I'll show you how I do that. But I just think a full eyebrow just looks so nice. And one person that I think of that really, I think she started filling her eyebrows in more, but Tamra Barney from the Housewives of OC, she has very blonde hair and very blonde eyebrows, and she would wear dark, smoky eye makeup, and in the interviews you can barely see her eyebrows, and so it would look like her eyes are just so sunken because they're dark, and then it just looks like giant forehead when you don't have brows separating it. And it's a much more youthful look to have visible brows, because as you age you naturally lose eyebrows, eyelashes, things like that, and so you need to work a little bit more at filling them in because it really frames the face. I mean, even if I'm just throwing on a little mascara and blush, I will always pencil in my eyebrows just because I just think it adds so much to the face and it really is a finished, complete look. So that's probably enough talking about that. The other thing is a tip that I first saw from Makeup by Tiffany D, but I've seen a bunch of people talk about it since, and that is looking at your face and knowing where your brows should start and stop. And that is to take something like a pencil. This is just a makeup brush, but you go up the side of your nose here, and that is where your brows should naturally start. And then you kind of angle at the very corner of your eye and your nose, and that's where they should stop naturally. So mine kind of do that. And some people, their hair doesn't go out that far, so you might want to pencil it in. But then again, you really just have to go with what looks best on your face and what you're looking for. So I have never had my brows professionally done. I've never had them waxed, tweezed, threaded, anything like that. I don't know in my area of like an amazing brow person, and I've heard horror stories. I've seen people with burns, people come back with eyebrows that are too little, and I think that's my biggest fear, is having somebody take too much off my eyebrows. So I have just always shaped them myself, and it's worked for me. So I think at this point, I don't see a need to go get them done. But the tweezers that I was using for the longest time, these are from Lacrosse, and they're just really skinny ended tweezers, and they work for me. I like them, but everybody raved about Tweezerman. They're expensive, so I didn't get one for so long. So I went and picked up this one, and it's like the Comfort grip, but I think mine aren't perfectly lined up, because like I feel like it should be able to pick up hairs really easily, but it's only on this bottom corner end here that picks up the hairs. So it's kind of awkward to have to use that. But yeah, I tweeze to shape them, and then I also, and I'll move in closer here, I also, here we go. I also trim them because, if I can move my camera here, there we go. Because as you can see, the hair here kind of grows straight up, and I have let them go for a while now. They've needed done for a while because I wanted to show you how I do it. I take one of these scissors. This is just like a cuticle scissors that I got from CVS on sale. It's not meant for eyebrows, but I use it for eyebrows, and I love it because it's so fine. And so what I do, rather than let these up, because it's just a messier look than I like, and rather than plucking them, because the hair actually starts down in here, so if I plucked them, then it would thin out this area a lot. I just trim them, and so I kind of like push the hair up a little bit, and then I just snip those ends off. And that just looks so much cleaner and defined already. And I also, I trim my brows, because even though I want them full, I don't want them messy looking, and I don't mess with brow gels very often. So if they get too long, I'll take, you can use just a really fine tooth comb, or this is like a brow or a lash comb, and I'll pull them out a little bit on a scissor or on the comb, and then cut off the ends. And that just keeps them trimmed, and it will thin them out a bit, but it keeps them neater, and I fill them in anyway. So I don't know if that got anything, but I just trim them a little bit. And even up here, and once I like cut the tops, I can see if there are hairs growing at the very top of my brows that could be trimmed, but I don't, or plucked, I mean, but I don't want to over pluck. So I like having kind of basically the same size thickness brow from the front to the arch, and then it thins. But yeah, and then this other side isn't as bad, but just trim the ends a little bit here. It's kind of hard to do this in the camera. Yeah, and then a couple of them might still be sticking up, and then you can, when I trim, I can see where else I need to pluck. But that is the easiest way that wrong way here, that I clean up my brows, and I think it makes the biggest difference, because I don't want to be just plucking away at my eyebrows and thinning them out where I don't need to. I just would rather trim them and have them be all the same length, because that hair that grows up can be kind of unruly. So then that's really all I do. I pluck to get the strays, and then I trim when they're a little grown out. And then to fill them in, this is my favorite brow product. I use this every single day. This is the Mary Kay Brow Definer Pencil, and I use the color Blonde, and it is just the most natural blonde color I've been able to find. It's completely neutral. It doesn't have any red. It's a very ashy color, because I don't want to pull red from my eyebrows, because I don't have red in my hair at all. Okay, so many for me, it's hard to find a brow product that is light enough. So many brow products are too dark, and then it makes your eyebrows stand out so much more than they need to. I totally think you should go with the lightest brow color possible. If you try and match a shadow or a pencil or whatever you're using to your actual eyebrow color, it's just gonna turn out really dark. So this is a lot lighter than my actual eyebrow color, but it works and it fills them in naturally. So I'll show you exactly what I do here. I just take this pencil, and it's soft, but not too soft. And for me, I don't worry too much about drawing in individual lashes. I just like to soften the look because I'm really only filling in to add a little bit of fullness. It's not like I'm adding a brow where there isn't brow. So to me, I just like a soft, full brow. So especially in here where it's a little thinner, a little sparser, I just fill in along the bottom, and then up here at my arch, I like a little bit more of a defined arch. And then my brow is pretty short here. My hairs don't go back very far. So I'll just lightly fill that in. And I think it just adds so much to define my face. And here, I'm really thin on the bottom here. And then again, I go on top of the arch to define that, and then just extend that just a tiny bit. I don't like it too much, and I don't like them too harsh, but so that's what I do for my brows. And then this is pretty much all I do every day. I don't trim them or pluck them every day, but I fill them in every day with this, and it is just so easy. It literally takes me 10 seconds, and I think brows are just the easiest thing for people to neglect. And I didn't do anything with my brows. I didn't fill them in for the longest time, and I think it's because every time I would try, it would look too dark and too harsh, and it just wasn't what I was used to. So once I found this product that's really light and really natural, I love it. It takes no time at all. And I'm really used to the way my brows look like this, so I don't like going without it. So I hope this wasn't too rambly and didn't just repeat stuff that you already knew. This is how I take care of my brows. It's pretty low maintenance. It's not a lot, but it works for me. And yeah, so let me know if you have any other tips or tricks that work for you, that you enjoy. And yeah, I'd love to hear those. So I hope you have a great week. See you, everybody.